The next one is going to be a panel discussion, ladies and gentlemen, on the topic creating value, not just wealth, the next gen real estate mindset. I'll repeat the topic once again for you all for the panel discussion. This is going to be about creating value, not just wealth, the next gen real estate mindset. To moderate this session, we have with us somebody very, very special and experienced. He is the managing partner of Realty, Suvidha, Lifespaces, and joint secretary of CREDAI MCHI. He holds the world's record for maximum books authored on real estate sector, having written and published 25 books. He's also the chairman of statistics and research at CREDAI India and joint secretary at CREDAI MCHI. He's a world record holder and a 2 times TEDx speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, doctorate in literature, developer, best-selling author, world record holder, TEDx speaker. I can keep adding adjectives for the one and only Dr. Advocate Harshul Savla. Big round of applause for Mr. Savla, please. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure welcoming you with all these adjectives put together. My entire vocabulary comes out. Thank you. I request you to take your seat. And my next speaker over here, ladies and gentlemen, is the founder of ABC Brand Advisory and a veteran advertising creative director with a pedigree of defining major brands like Videocon and Manyavar. But real estate has been his evergreen forever shiddat wala pyar, if I can put it that way. He has worked with India's leading real estate developers, 300 plus real estate brands and 1,000 plus real estate projects to be precise, and has spoken and written about real estate advertising at multiple forums. Ladies and gentlemen, founder and creative director, ABC Brand Advisory. Clap it up for Mr. Amit, Baid. My next speaker over here grew up inside the real estate industry, accompanying his father to meetings, watching how trust is built and how deals are closed, and that foundation has since then become a full-blown obsession with how great developments come to life. Today, he works directly across design, planning, and marketing at Rishabhraj, driving key decisions that shape their vision and how they build and go to the market. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Director of Rishabhraj, Krish Jain. A big round of applause for Mr. Jain, please. Thank you so much. What a pleasure to have you. Thank you. My next speaker has over nearly 3 decades of experience and has built a legacy rooted in innovation, fearlessness, deep industry insight, and an uncanny ability to anticipate shifts long before they become mainstream. The ability to foresee things is what separates him from the rest, and that's what exactly makes him the best, if I can put it that way. Under his leadership, Alchemist has evolved into a dynamic company that blends strategy with creativity, consulting on branding, executing complex marketing campaigns, crafting digital roadmaps, curating celebrity associations, and creating high-impact IPs. Ladies and gentlemen, the esteemed Managing Director of Alchemist Group. Clap it up for Mr. Manish Porwal, please. Thank you so much, Mr. Porwal, for joining us. My next speaker over here represents a new generation of leadership, shaping India's real estate sector with a very, very strong focus on customer experience, innovation, and operational excellence. She plays an active role across strategic growth, business operations, and customer relationship management with a clear-cut mission, which is to redefine the home buyer journey through transparency, technology, and service excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, the esteemed Director of Signature Global Group, Nidhi Aggarwal. A big round of applause for her, please. And my next speaker over here, a serial entrepreneur and IIT alumnus, is a visionary with over 15 years of experience in entrepreneurship, management, and leadership. In the year 2014, driven by his own search for a home that reflected his very essence, he founded the White Lotus Group. Rooted in Bengaluru, the company has redefined the city's residential landscape with its pioneering concept of personal sanctuaries, bespoke, design-led homes that nurture individuality and community alike. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder and CEO of White Lotus Group, Pavan Kumar. A big round of applause for Mr. Kumar, please. Thank you so much, all of you over here. And as you all know the format, a consolidated tali for all of them goes without saying. So can I request all of you a little louder, please? Everybody, Mumbai, a little louder, yes. Thank you. And please, apne sthan mein aap log baith jaiye. And Mr. Savla, over to you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. I have a very good mix today. Developers representing 3 cities. We have MMR, Krish is there. We have Pavan working in Bengaluru. And We have Nidhi, who's working in NCR extensively. And we have two business strategists as well as brand marketing gurus operating across India. So it's a good mix, and which will give a kind of a pan-India kind of perspective to the whole thing. So we'll have this in two segments, a common question, individual question, rapid fire, and finally we'll open up to audience as well. So, first question straight up, Amit, to you. And this is a common question for every panelist, as in how you all want to take it up. So we have the topic, which is next gen real estate mindset. So from that perspective, in one sentence, what is the biggest difference between a developer who creates wealth and one who creates long-term value?
Long-term value is going to begin when you create a brand and you endeavor to build on that brand and a relationship. I think next generation is going to go beyond the basics and not just build projects and build brands. I think that's the key difference, and that's how the entire story of long-term value is going to start.
Beautiful. I think focus on brands and not just individual projects. Porwal ji, with all your experience, what do you believe about the same?
I didn't know you'll come straight to me, but okay. So thank you for having me here, first of all. Thank you very much, Realty Plus. I think I have the privilege of working with some of the larger brands where the second generation has come in, right? And they've taken over, or they're taking over, or they're learning very, very keenly. One of the biggest difference I find is exactly mirroring what is happening in the society. All of us, the baby boomers and the next ones, were probably busy accumulating wealth because that's the only way of showing that we have made it successful. They are not in that zone. They are in the zone of creating value which will outlast them. They're not kind of only talking about today, or they're not talking about to 1,000 crore ko main 5,000 crore kaise karu. They're not interested, just like all next generation are. They're interested in creating values that will outlive them, that will make them experience things which they've never done before. They're daring, they're ready to make more mistakes. Their dads and moms are allowing them to make more mistakes in that sense, right? That's happening. So I see that beautiful, and I'm telling you, I love sharing the boardrooms these days. No offense meant, sir, but with the youngsters, then even the, humble people, because they're so open, they're so absolutely open to learning, and I think that is a big difference.
Welcome, sir. Krish, what's your view?
I think so. The question was, what is the difference between wealth and long-term value in today's time? I believe both go hand in hand, because for creating wealth also, it takes time. And if you are not providing long-term value, you will not be able to create wealth, because short-term gain is not wealth. So I think so already definitely like good points by Manish sir also in terms of how today we have to more focus on value, because wealth has been created to an extent by our fathers. So that is definitely there. But someone also starting right now who has not built wealth, he'll have to give long-term value to build wealth as well.
Nidhi, what's your perspective?
I think I was also, thinking the same thing what Manish ji and what Krish said. I think, when you create like wealth, it's all about creating a number of, how many towers you can create, how much you can sell. It's all about just that. It's not about the services. It's not about, how, like to create communities. I think when you are creating something, you're getting legacy or something, you need to create communities and not just, make towers and just sell it. So yeah, I just think that, this is how it is gonna happen in the future, not just making it and selling it, but everything around it, building a whole community and giving the experience that is well, deserved for the customers right now.
Fantastic. Community comes to my mind, Pavan. So, you've focused a lot around the well-being quotient, emotional quotient. What's your take on the topic?
I think if you start focusing on value, automatically wealth creation will happen, but not the other way around, right? And till now, like the roti kapda makan concept, right? Like makan has been a necessity. Today, the generation which is being born today from both sides, right? From your consumer and the developers both actually. It's not, people are not just looking at it like a necessity anymore, right? People have evolved to the point that they are looking at a home like a product. It's not just a ghar anymore, right? It's a product, right? From developer, the way creation happens. So I think that when that mindset comes, value creation happens, automatically wealth creation happens, but not the other way around, right? Yeah.
Interesting. We'll get to something which is directly impacting the sector, AI. So there's so much talked about practically in every conclave. But in my view, one of the direct impact is then the marketing, creatives, renders, this space. How do you see AI impacting going forward?
My take on AI is that AI is meant to assist you. It's a lovely assistant. It can make things happen that you visualize, but it's not going to lead. It's not going to be the thought leader. Brands and thinkers about the brand, the marketing partners, the branding partners, the brand owners, they will lead and AI will assist. And I think, even if it sounds politically incorrect, I think the importance of AI is overstated. It's a great assistant, but it's an assistant.
So the human behind AI is always going to be relevant in larger schemes of things. Porwalji, what's your view about AI? How is it impacting branding, creatives, marketing?
So let's say I'm a learner yet of marketing. I would say a very simple thing. I think we're at too early stage to understand the full impact. So I'm no guru to tell you that. Let's first have the disclaimer. Having said that, I think both undervaluing or overvaluing AI is wrong, because if you look at the past trends, there have been enough market circuit breakers, if I can call them, have come in the market before, and our life has still existed. We've still gone on. What we must understand is AI is the what. How to do, how to bring in efficiencies, right? How to anticipate things better, how to channelize your numbers, your learning better. But your human insights are still the creation of a human mind. Those insights are still going to run the top end of all market changes. AI can assist, as rightly said. AI can assist. It will help you do that faster. You'll probably need lesser people to kind of educate you on that. But it is very, very clear that human insights have governed marketing as a function and brands overall, and they'll continue to. So I'm not afraid of it. Neither am I bringing it down. It's going to be a big change, like the wheel changed a lot of things in the human race kind. Having said that, I think human minds are still far, far, far more fertile. The original intelligence is far better, which can put together three things which are facts. Ask them questions on why, and more why, and more why, till the time you get the aha, which is called the insight.
Wow.
Can I add a point here? When did we hear about AI falling in love or AI feeling jealous? Marketing is all about emotions. AI minus the emotions cannot run marketing. It can help us.
It's good to note that there is an embracing approach, at least around AI, and of course there's no replacement to the human behind AI, but yeah, it's going to be an enabler. It's a tool, just like the other tools that exist. Now I'm going to go to an interesting topic: branded residences. We were discussing, Nidhi, you all are doing Lamborghini homes. What's been the journey around branded residences, and how do you see that creating long-term value for end users as well as for developers?
Before this, I'd just like to say one thing. I'm sorry if it's in between the panel. This is the first time Dad is here in my panel. So it's a very new feeling for me. And yes, back to your question. Yes, we have come up with Lamborghini residences, and to be very honest, when you come up with such kind of residences, it's kind of scary at one place, because because the premium also, the premium will also be charged for that, and for the customers to accept that, it's like you are playing a gamble. You are throwing a ball in the in front of customers, that let's see if people need it, but to that bulk level, to that to those number of units, branded residences always used to happen in 200 units, 300 units, something like that, right? If we have come up with more than 500 units.
500 units.
Yeah. So for that to happen, it takes a lot of thinking behind it, and like how will the customer respond. And the journey was overwhelming because people responded really well. Especially in Delhi NCR, people are now looking towards branded residences, towards something that is new, that is different, that is something, a good society, a good place to live in, and they are ready to invest more for that. Like, it's not just about, okay, like, okay, I invest this much, I'll get this much return. It's not about that. It's also about the fact that they want to live in something that, it's like in future, that, gives them a feeling that, okay, I am living in such kind of, like, at such kind of place. Even to, Lamborghini, when he, like, we finalized the project with him, he would always say, we have also included that in the marketing line, that I cannot, like, this is his way of bringing Italy to India.
Wow.
The feel of Italy, what he feels how Italy is, that's what he wanted to represent here through this project. So, the customers, like, not even going there, they can feel that, they can get that feel. I think that's something good. Like, it will always be remembered.
Porwal ji, when you already have a brand attached to a residence, then how does the marketing strategy goes around it then?
Sorry, just a jest thing for Italy. Well, it was Sonia, and then it was Melanie, and now it's Lamborghini. So we have enough of Italy out there. No, but just going back, I just wanted to add a very simple thing. We did one of the first branded residences 11 years ago when we didn't even call it branded residences. It was fashion residences in Pune. And that was 12, 13 years ago, sometime around that. And then we did the Trump, the first ever. And then we have done many others. We've done various, including now working on something very interesting where we are making an Indian brand into a larger brand to license itself. I think the biggest change that I've seen in branded residences, which is to be noted, is once upon a time, people would take fashion, for example. That was more an impression that you wanted to make. That I've achieved something, therefore, this is an impression. Today, branded residences are all about expression. I believe in this philosophy, and therefore I'm branding this, which is coming from a very solid why. The why is that, again, the next generation, which has the money, which has seen the basics, now wants to buy houses that reflect who they are. They're not using it as like a product, in fact, opposite of probably what you just said. They're not using it as a product like a 3-bedroom. They're saying, if I'm staying in Lamborghini, I believe that this is the value sets I want to be seen with. Versus a Trump, where I want to be seen in a powerful address. Versus a U, where I want to see lifestyle expression. Versus something else where there's a designer, and so on and so forth. So branded residences are going to allow people, first of all, the good news for real estate is it's going to allow them huge amount of premium, which they were never able to take for a location. It's going to get them 30, 40, mind my words, quote me 3 years later, 300% premium. 300% premium. There are 340, last counted by me and my team, 340 branded residences coming up in India as we speak, where they are on the signing stage or coming up. It's become an order of the day. And I'm so looking forward to how marketing can add on to that rather than get restricted on that. Sorry, I took long, but...
No, but I fully agree. We have the Indian brand Shahrukh, which was taken to Dubai, and Rizwan ji with Danube did a fantastic job launching the office star Shahrukhs, and the sales speaks for itself. Krish, with Mumbai, we specifically just market the location. We always say it's a bandstand residence. So that's our definition of branded piece. How do you see branded residences gelling in Mumbai skyline? Because so far NCR has clearly been the capital of branded residences. But so far as Mumbai goes, what's your view?
So NCR, Delhi area is an area which is loud. And every area has a different kind of expression or emotion attached in terms of how the kind of gentry or the public lives. And Mumbai lives a little bit comparatively different in a different way. And I think so if a particular branded residence is done which matches with the vibe that Mumbai wants, I think so it will do well. Like, I think so, I'm not able to recollect or speak about any.
I'll tell you, there is a 600 square meter plot at Chopati, where a Versace residence is done, 600 square meter plot. That much would not even qualify as a plot in Delhi probably, but realistically, we have the St. Regis residences in Worli, which has come up, and there are Four Seasons residences which have come up. So branded residence in Mumbai, of course, has not really picked up. But what's your view, Amit, in terms of this space, and how do you see it going forward? Dubai has exhausted all brands. So now they've run out of brands to do a branded residence, and Mumbai, the party's just, India, the party's just started, as he rightly said, 300 projects coming up.
I have a question, like, you get an international brand and you call it a branded residence. So what is a Lodha project? What is a Rustamji project? Isn't it already branded? So an international brand comes in and you get a premium, and you're not able to get it without that international brand. So what does it say about our branding? So isn't it a branded residence already without these international brands? So basically,
Interesting perspective.
we haven't invested enough, or we haven't understood enough the power of branding. And this is like a short circuit to becoming a brand by leasing or just hiring an international brand. I think long-term value will be about building your own brand, and I think that's the real story. That's the real story that is yet to happen, and that's why all these things are happening.
I think I agree with you. Like someone who's starting off new, or probably because building a brand takes time. It's a patience game, and if you want to step up your game or create a perception about luxury, especially, probably these branded residences are a quick fix solution, like an injection coming in being. But yeah, ultimately the long-term game is building your own brand and kind of, pulling it.
One question, why are the leaders of real estate, Indian real estate, why are they partnering international brands? So I think that's a question that we need to honestly answer, and there may be some ideas there.
Great. Pavan, what's your perspective? You're already doing these fantastic community living projects, etc. Do you think adding a brand will make more premium your project, or you are okay skipping these branded residences?
So 2014, when we started off, we have always been in the bespoke premium segment, luxury segment in Bangalore. Of course, by Bombay standards, the ticket size what we have is way low. But from 2014 onwards itself, we have always been in the 5 crore plus segment. So, and today, we don't do anything less than 7 crores anywhere in Bangalore. And we are always able to attract, White Lotus as a brand, we've always been able to attract around 15-20% more than anybody around, including the top players of Bangalore. So we have always been that premium segment. I think branded residences will help those brands who are looking for those premiumization. That is my point of view. There are a couple of brands which have branded residences which have been done in Bangalore. Four Seasons, Leela, 2 projects of Leela, and Taj one is going on. But it has not been a very massive adoption in Bangalore to start with. Like Krish was saying, it's a very localized thing, right? The way people live in Bangalore is very different from, even in South India, it's very different from the way people live in Hyderabad, right? It's a stark difference in your lifestyle to start with. In a place like Bangalore, the premiumization actually has very different connotation in terms of the lifestyle and the kind of experiences you're giving, right? I mean, maybe in that context, maybe a branded residences can help, but just putting a logo on a building in a Bangalore context, I don't think it will be very successful, because people are very evolved, very well-traveled, very down-to-earth, very different lifestyle there, right? Maybe that's the reason also, not seen too many branded residences, but yeah, happy to see. But brands which are trying to break into that premium segment, I think it might help to brand. But coming back to your point, yes, why are we talking about getting an international brand and putting it in our Indian, logos, when we need to aspire to become that brand, right? So my point of view is always that from the beginning, White Lotus, all our projects have been very Indian names also, because we feel we are an Indian company, right? So we don't even put any international names to start with. So it's a very different point of view, yeah.
May I answer that in a bitter truth? So first of all, the definition of a branded residence to me is very simple. When the product is being made by somebody else and the brand is being contributed. That's the simple definition. Now there'll be crossfires, right? India will give its own, people will get. But let's go back to the basics. Look at what's happening otherwise. How many Indian brands have actually found value in the global market space? They've not. That's a reality, and we must address that. In real estate in particular, the short-term view that we have of products and of over-glamorizing something which is not right will never get us there. What somebody else has built over hundreds of years. A Cartier, which makes a watch, today comes in and makes a residence, will adapt it. Part of it is imperialism, our whole thing of 200 years of British Raj. But that's not the real reason. The real reason is we believe that they will give a consistent, a good product. Our problem is, in short term, we forget what the long term is, and therefore Indian brands struggle. The answer is that, nothing else. I'm not saying we cannot. Like, for example, if Raymond was to come up, I'm sure they'll create a huge brand. I'm just giving an example, and I'll send the check if they really want it. But imagine Raymond Tower across Jaipurs and Lucknows and everything. Why not, right?
In fact,
The point is, there are only a few brands who can do it, because they've invested in that brand for a very long time. That's the issue. That's the answer.
No, but my concern in that is this. So, traditionally, Indian real estate has always been that your work is over once the sale is over. Booking ho gaya to kaam khatam. And that thing is changing drastically now.
Nidhi
Where
has a
your work
lot
is
to
started
share.
after
She
this.
looks after CRM.
No,
She
no,
has
that's
a lot to share right now.
Coming to the point, now we have evolved from both sides. It's a beautiful ecosystem right now where developers and consumers both have evolved, where your journey starts after the sale is over now. So my concern is, how is branding, partnering with an international brand, helping in the other process, which is you're still dealing with the local skill label, you're still dealing with the local property management people, you're still dealing with the local materials, you're still dealing with all the property management issues of CPHs and all of that. How is that brand helping? That is my bigger worry here. If partnering with a brand is able to help you with those aspects, then I would say there's a lot of value addition. As long as that is not there, then you're still glorifying your initial sale in trying to increase your realization, but then the after journey is still the same, right?
Very, very interesting perspectives from all six of you all. I think quite a masterclass on branded residence. But yeah, of course, you're marrying the brand. Imagine someone staying in a Trump tower at this point of time. So quite a thing in that sense. But yeah, Nidhi, we'll move on to another tone. Otherwise, branded would never end. CRM, you've been looking at it as a function, a very interesting, important, neglected arm. As he rightly said, we are just concerned about the registration, the booking, and then it's done. I think then we just look at OC and handover. So what's your view on CRM? How is it evolving in the Indian landscape? What are the practices you are doing, if you could share?
So, I started with the fact, like, what used to happen in the past. CRM, like, as an organization, people used to not invest that much in the CRM, infrastructure and everything. And the reason behind it, there were many reasons behind it, but one of the major reasons was probably the fact that every developer, or also not say every, but most of the developers, they used to think like that, it's a one-time, like, once the booking is done, like he said, it's done. Now, like, okay, now we have to just deliver the project. It was all about that. It was never about, okay, how to create a relationship with the customer, how to navigate, how to help them navigate for next 5 years, till the time delivery is made. But with time, when I entered, I realized, that this is right now, customers, yes, they are looking for a good project, good investment and everything. And yes, for them, it's also a transaction, obviously. But on the other hand, now they are more aware of their rights. They are more aware of, they're advocate for their own products. Advocate for their own transactions, I'll say. So if, let's say, the transaction happens and they're not happy post buying the product, then you are getting a negative, I'll say a negative feedback or a negative ambassador for your product. So when I joined, we kind of very much focused on their journey, post-sales journey. And we tried to work on that in a way that we wanted to create transparency. We wanted, that if a customer, the customer doesn't have to call us for anything. They'll get real-time updates, they'll get everything. See, the builders, we build and everything happens, right? But the problem comes, or I'll say their brand comes at problem when something wrong happens, like delay happens, किसी भी reason की वजह से, grab की वजह से, किसी की वजह से भी अगर delay होता है, but if we are able to communicate that to the customer before they are getting agitated, that is when the customer feels, okay, you know what, I was well informed. I was updated, okay, this is happening because of this reason. That is when customer feels, okay, you know, I am a part of the journey and it's okay. Delays will happen, right? Koi na koi problem will always happen. It's a construction industry. It's not like, you know, external factors are always there. But for them, it is about to be well informed, to be involved, to not treat them as somebody, okay, aapne, you know, now you have bought, now the sole purpose of this project is to just give you appreciation. That is to just deliver the project. So yes, we have come up with a lot of things in that terms. We also came up with this application called like Life@SG. I keep on telling about this to everyone all the time. So it's like on this application, the moment after you buy a project, like the moment the booking is done, you come on that application and you have everything on that application. Your invoices, your BBA, your next due date, your construction updates, even anything Signature Global is doing in terms of any launches or anything that, you know, they are interested to buy, anything. So we are trying to create a community so that the customer does not feel like, okay, now that we have bought the project, now we have to see when they want to buy, like when we want to sell, we approach them, we are behind them, we try to get the services, you know, we'll get a lot of technology and everything. But once it's done, you know, the developers, they tend to move on to the next project. Now we'll sell this. But through this application, we are trying to be very much connected to our customers, to tell them that yes, next launches are coming, but we are still with you. So yeah.
Great approach, because we spend crores on marketing, but you know, investing on our own customer is the best form of marketing. Word of mouth, nothing beats that, you know, truly. Amit, in your experience, are developers still focusing on only marketing the project, focused on selling the project, or there is investment getting done on building the brand? What do you, and give me an honest answer, what do you think is actually happening at the ground level?
I think largely real estate is building projects, not building brands. I think once we start building brands will take care of the entire business, and all the issues that we have, liquidity, profitability, and this worry about how much we are getting per square feet, you know, all this will really be addressed. So I would say that don't just build projects, build real estate brands, and things are really going to change from there. And when I say that, do that, I mean, I also say that it's not happening till now.
Manish, what has been your experience with developers?
So I've come a long way from a time when CRM was not a part of the marketing toolkit. It was a part of the collections team. Yeah. Remember that, some of us? So it has come a long way. It is evolving. Has it evolved fully? Has it become a mainstream thing for a developer apex to think about it? Frankly, no. And I see that across professional companies, very new companies, even second generation, third generation. It is more like you have to do it and therefore you do it. The issue is, again, what Amit just said. Are we looking at creating brands? For example, let me tell you. A lot of top companies spend top dollars, and here rupees, in advertising, right? Marketing and advertising. Do you know that a referral costs you less than a 1/80 of the cost than what you would typical advertising cost? Because advertising is like a net. You throw and somebody koi to fasega, par pata nahi kaun fasega. I mean, they say, na, 50% of my advertising is wasted. My problem is I don't know which 50%. That actually has become 80%. 80% of my advertising is wasted, I don't know which 80%. So referrals, and therefore CRM being a toolkit, can get you that. But the focus needs to be there. The focus is just not there. The focus is more about the pre-sales than post-sales. Everybody is making pre-sales, wow, AI-driven, 2 generations, AI first, humans later, etc., etc. All my clients are only talking about that. Very few are saying, so how do I develop CRM to become real consumer focused, where they are giving me the next 5 customers? That's a reality harsh truth of our industry in that sense.
Fantastic. Krish, we'll change the theme a bit. Mumbai is clearly the honeycomb for developers across the country, but as you do a lot of redevelopment projects. What is the most understated or commonly misunderstood fact about development in Mumbai real estate?
I think so. Redevelopment is different than a greenfield project, and the way of operating system in itself is completely different. And there have been good people from the country all entering into MMR, and also various good people yet want to still enter into MMR. Some brands, some companies are doing well, have entered in a very aggressive way and are showing success. So I think so that tells that people are able to crack it. So definitely there are certain different ways. Everyone has a like there is a formula for everything, right? And one thing which was also discussed, that a very simple easy math is to tie up with a local player over there, which immediately like the formula has been cracked by that player. So that the person who is entering from outside Bombay doesn't have to experiment, which is at the cost of life, which is at the cost of lives of good amount of people. So I think so the formula is getting open, and no such hidden thing is there that it's not possible.
You know, luxury is the buzzword right now in Indian real estate. I think everyone's just talking luxury left, right, center. Pavan, you operate in that segment. What is the differentiation point you do? Because when 100 projects are shouting we are luxury, what is that one thing or two things that you do to kind of stand out of the crowd?
So one thing is when we started in 2014 onwards also, we were very conscious about this whole luxury, right? It is one of the most abused word in particularly in Indian real estate context actually. Everybody is luxury, right? And everybody is not luxury also. So we have been quite conscious about what is luxury for us, right? So unfortunately, the industry has been operating in a way that luxury has always been how beautiful your brochure looks and how many amenities you put in the brochure. Reality never translates that, right? So we are one of those few people, I think we never focused on a brochure to the point of being arrogant that some projects we never released a brochure because, you know, our clientele has been like that. We always been a very product focused.
Amit has straight away taken his mic.
So we always been focusing more on, so we always say we are a product company. Our product happens to be a home, simple. We'll always be obsessed about our product and we always make sure that, you know, the product is perfect for the consumer. That gave us an edge when it came to luxury because your luxury consumer, your true luxury consumer, is actually not looking at your brochure or your bells and whistles or your list of 100+ amenities and all of that. They're quite well informed and, you know, they're quite aware, yeah, actually. They are actually looking at how is for them true luxury is having a true community, right? Today everybody says a gated community. What is a gated community? Community is a very, social thing where as a developer, I think the onus is on us to create the community. If you don't give enough, your amenity should be in such a way, like all our projects, we never have a single clubhouse. Our clubhouse and amenities are spread across the project. Like right now we are doing one big 14-acre villa community where the amenities go across 14 acres. So that creates you a a platform for people to come together at various points, right, actually. So that is true community building. You cannot tell people, otherwise it becomes like a hostel, right, which is clubhouse, buildings are now, everybody has to come to that clubhouse, actually. So that's like a hostel concept, right, actually. So we have been conscious about these kind of things on how do we create luxury. Maybe some people don't want to go to the clubhouse, right, but they enjoy one pocket of the community where they go and the like-minded people come there, right? That is true community building happens. So we focus on all these small things. So in a nutshell, if I have to say, focus on the product. Focus on the, the way we design our projects and the floor plans also is we map the complete life cycle of a consumer from the time they wake up till the time they sleep. How is their experience? How can we make that experience better at every stage, right? From your dining experience, your bathing experience, your living room where the whole family is coming together. How is your balcony experience? How is your weekend experience? So we map all these experiences. So the brief which goes out to our architects also is not, 13 by 14 bedroom with this much square feet. Our brief is always experiences. If you can achieve all these experiences, whatever the size comes out, we are happy with the size. So that way we have been able to give an edge and differentiate ourselves in terms of true luxury. And your consumer actually realizes that. Yeah, they're very well traveled, very well aware, and these are the things they value more. And coming back to your AI thing which you were talking about, luxury consumers actually truly differentiate between an AI marketing message versus a true marketing message, right? Because then, so that is where a true luxury differentiation happens actually. And unfortunately, we used AI to make marketing messages. Now we are making those marketing messages sound like human because we are not happy with the AI message.
AI is having a feature now how to make the
Sound like
message
human.
sound like human.
So we're going back to the whole cycle. We have gone back to the basics.
But what is interesting is people are sending brief in AI, people are getting the solution also in AI. Everything is just AI. No, but very, very interesting, and I always get amazed and fascinated with how South India-based developers function, whether it's Shobha, the way you mentioned, and a few other friends operating there. It's almost to a point there is so much thought process that goes into planning and smaller bits. I think we in Mumbai need to clearly take a lot of cues and lessons there, but fascinating, amazing, I think.
Just one thing I would like to add, just a small thing. Please do brochures. Please invest in marketing branding because it's not product versus advertising. It's not doing versus telling. It's both.
No, I didn't say we stopped brochures. I'm saying to the point that your luxury consumer doesn't really care about the brochure. He likes the human interaction more than anything else and wants to know the genuinity of your product and the floor plans. So in that context, I said, of course, we are doing brochures actually. Yeah. Your RERA mandates that you do a brochure. Otherwise, you don't get the RERA approval to start with.
So now we'll go to the last segment, which is really rapid fire. And has to be a rapid fire, no long answers. So one word that defines future of real estate. Amit, we'll start with you, and then we'll go forward.
Brands.
Future of real estate.
Consolidation.
Long-termedness.
Wow.
Transparency.
I would say product.
In fact, that's the present of real estate now, transparency. But yeah, absolutely. Product also is quite the present. One trend that you think is overrated at this point? Okay, Pavan, you start.
I would say luxury.
I think the one trend that is overrated, probably, I don't know, probably treating, the sales that you do as just the units rather than, let's just focus more on after sales experience rather than just focusing on the pre-sales.
Only the pre-sale, yeah.
Nidhi, please don't get offended. And this is in terms of me living in Mumbai. Right now, I feel like today you like a brand, tomorrow you like a different brand. So my perspective on branded residences is like short-term right now.
To me, just so that I complete the loop, I think I'll agree completely. I think luxury or thinking that luxury is the only way forward is the over trend. It's going to change. By the way, it's already changing in Delhi. Now that I was discussing this pre-session with you, with 7 crore houses and people earning far less than 1 crore,
yeah, I think
definitely going back to compact
it's becoming a worry in Mumbai too. The amount of
compact housing also.
ultra
I'm not
luxury.
saying they'll not coexist, but compact housing is going to come back as well.
Yeah, big time.
I think areas price per square foot. I think in the future, in the same locality, you'll find something selling at X and something selling at 1.5X, something selling at 2X. So this whole thing of area-wise pricing is because of real estate becoming a commodity. The more we become a brand, it will really evolve.
Oh,
There's no point of 300% premium you'll have in the same place.
Wow, nice. I think also the fact that there are a lot of influencers in real estate space coming, so that is also becoming like an overdose. There's some who really doing quality work, but a lot are entering into space without really understanding what's the job of an influencer. One city besides your own that excites you the most? You are operating pan-India, but still, yeah, what's your favorite city?
Outside Mumbai, Hyderabad.
Krish?
I think so, Bangalore.
Interestingly, Calcutta, most underrated, and living under its own potential because of the political issues too far.
Clearly.
I think I'll say Ayodhya because the development that is happening and it happened so fast. Things change so fast, and the type of growth we are looking there is something new, not
Absolutely.
expected.
Agreed.
For me, it's Hyderabad, though I've been in Bangalore for 20 years. I'm born and brought up in Hyderabad. I'm an Hyderabadi actually, so I would like to do something in my hometown. That's one market we keep observing, but funnily, Hyderabad is like a replica of NCR. So the highs and lows of NCR are same in Hyderabad actually. So you have to time the market to enter into Hyderabad because the fundamentals are not that great. Otherwise, it's a great city in terms of infra. Infra-wise, the city is one of the
I'll
best.
tell you, it's amazing. Hyderabad is known as the city of unlimited FSI. It's the only city
Yeah, which is also not a great thing.
which has unlimited.
100 crores per acre is the norm there, right? 100 crores per acre is the norm because unlimited FSI, right? Actually, like an acre, you build 500,000 square feet in 1 acre, which is like...
I'm not very sure how you'll add a secret sauce there because everything is so Vastu driven in Hyderabad. They call it rubber stamp homes. Every home just looks exactly the same and everything is so Vastu driven over there. But yeah, in fact, it's a very interesting market.
Interestingly, we also have been doing, maybe because we are from Hyderabad, we have been doing 100% Vastu homes. In Bangalore context also, still trying to maintain the luxury. It takes tremendous effort, but yeah, it's possible, yeah.
Wow.
Actually, Vastu is not just like, it's not just, I think, place related or like, the Hyderabad and all. I think everywhere the customers want that.
Oh, no. Hyderabad is another level. Like
Hyderabad is another level, actually. It's impossible to do.
Add to that, it's a very simple anecdote understanding. The more money that you put in, the more fearful you are, and therefore the more Vastu. That's the way it goes. So luxury will always have Vastu as a very important part.
he's going back to a Lamborghini Homes residence with a Vastu consultant. One thing customer deserves better from developer.
Listening. We need to hear better. We need to listen better. And that's the start of everything good.
Manish ji?
Tell the truth. Truth well told, okay. Lies well concealed, not okay. For brand building.
Nidhi?
I think I would like to say, see, there is one thing pre-sales, then there is post-sales, then there is post-handover. So I believe, something, like a lot of work needs to be done.
I know I've taken cue from the Pune developers, the way they do handover, it's a celebration. Absolutely. And I get your point. It's absolutely so wonderful. It's the biggest purchase of their life. Now today you go to buy a car and the way it's celebrated vis-a-vis just handing over keys. So I think, yeah, of course. Post handover.
Who's that you have later?
Yes. No, that's an interesting point. There's facility management companies now by developers that they've started, which takes care, of this piece. Pavan, in your view?
I would say I always like, in a lot of panel discussions in Bangalore, I give my favorite example. I say anxiety reduction. Today, what has Swiggy done for you? It is anxiety reduction. Your restaurants have been delivering food from decades. Wow. Swiggy just came and made sure from the time they pick up till the time they deliver, you have transparency. Otherwise, earlier, you used to order food and call the restaurant guy and say, Bhaiya, food nikal gaya kya? Then that guy will say, haan, kab ki nikal gaya? When the guy is still cooking, right? Swiggy makes sure that this process is captured. So Swiggy just made sure that anxiety is over, even if it is delayed. So I think our industry needs exactly that, which is customers are very, very forgiving as long as you tell them truth. If you can be transparent and make the truth automated, which is they just have an app to know that ki sab kuch chal raha hai, theek hai, delay ho raha tha, I'm still okay. I know the process, right? So anxiety reduction is what you can do, yeah.
Krish is saying, मेरे को ही नहीं पता कल क्या होने वाला है. Yeah, Krish, what's your thought?
निधि के दिल्ली में होता है ना, लड़का चाल पे है, पहुंचता होगा सर. पैदा ही नहीं हुआ अभी तक.
What was the rapid fire?
One thing customer deserves better from developer.
So, commitment.
So last question, would you build faster or timeless?
Why should that be a choice? Both.
I think both should be the common piece around over here.
I think if you aim for timeless and then come back and make it faster, you achieve everything else, yeah.
I'll just say something in it. It's like timeless, but with rarer timelines. So fast enough.
Timelessness in time. Okay, any one or two questions from the audience? Otherwise, we've pretty much done with our time here. Okay, we are good. I think we have one question.
Okay. So let's just take one question. Can I have a mic, please? Or maybe can I have? Yeah. Thank you so much. Please still for the others.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to ask a question. The first one. You just told that, when you have branded residences, suppose if, example, there's a car, I don't want to say Lamborghini, it's a Mercedes. Today, Mercedes is not doing well and BMW is doing well. But that does not affect the sales of the, does that affect the sale of the, this thing or no? That is my question. For example, Trump. After the moment the war started, I'm selling Trump offices. Does the sale increase? The inquiries increase in Pune. So there are Trump offices. And then people started asking, then who is good, who is not, that's not important. But it becomes famous. Famous, infamous, whatever you can call it.
Any marketing is good marketing, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So, wanted to know what it is.
Since I'm the unofficial, official bearer of the Trump stamp here, you can kill me if you want. We manage the Trump residences across. The honest truth is, yes, it does affect. Any parent brand going through ups and downs will affect the subsidiary brand, there's no question. Something happens to, let's say, Khudana Khasta, Mercedes, then obviously the Mercedes brands will get affected. There's no question. But I think there is also about timelessness of a particular brand. Depends on that. Trump is still young. It's 28-year, 30-year-old brand. But if you look at something like Cartier, I said, 100+ years, it will not go through such a jolt. It's the same as whatever happens, Sachin Tendulkar is a brand who is taken above the roof, right? But let's say something happens to Rajat Patidar, it's going to bring it up or down a little more. So that's the answer. The younger the brand, the less you invest in the brand, the more volatile it will be.
I have, in addition, to say something or ask also. So Trump residences, Trump in itself is like a real estate brand outside India already delivering real estate buildings. So a different brand which has been into a different industry and coming into real estate industry and doing branded residences is very different and can receive a very different traction compared to when you receive traction with the Trump brand. Because Trump is a real estate brand as well, just like Lodha is there in India. Personal. Definitely, 100%. 100%.
One point I would like to add, any marketing is good marketing. I don't agree. Good attention, immediately triggered sales is fine, but marketing is a lot about relationships, just like relationships. So everything that affects a relationship affects marketing.
I think I'd just like to answer your also question in such a way that you said that branded residences, it does not affect the sales if it is some other brand, as such. But I'll also say, first time working with the branded residences, it's not just about sales. The type of, how strict they are with their, what they bring, with the project that they bring. Okay, so for any developer, there's a lot of mis-selling that happens, right? But they are so strict with it that you yourself become around, that you have to work around it, you have to work as per them. So somehow, it's not just about the fact that sales badana, it's also about how you say SEBI, how RERA, how these things work. I think there are also some kind of, you can say, authority that kind of comes in, saving the, I'll say, customers on one end.
Thank you so much for that question. Thank you so much for all the answers. And we would like to clap and appreciate their effort. Thank you so much. I'll request all of you to please remain on stage and wait as I invite on stage Dr. Nayan A. Shah, Chairman and Managing Director, Mayfair Housing, to please kindly come up on stage and give the token of appreciation to our esteemed speakers. Can we please have Dr. Shah over here on stage?
Harshul,
Thank you so much.
Can I end with a hope? My hope is that someday I'm sitting in New York and Trump says that I've partnered with Signature Global. I need their branded residences, and that's going to help me to sell better.
Thank you. Come, sir. I request all of you to come forward, please, so that it's easier. Sir, please. Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. Go ahead.
And my neighbor and dear friend Harshul.
Absolutely, sir.
नहीं, you have to announce a party. देखो जिस दिन मिस्टर ट्रम्प इसको कहेगा ना, उस दिन we all are invited for a bag.
क्या बात है?
सबके सामने promise दे रहे हो ना? बिल्कुल सर, पार्टी का invite होगा, visa नहीं होगा.
हाँ, बड़ी कैमरा में रिकॉर्डेड हाँ, मिस्टर बैद कैमरा में रिकॉर्डेड है. We'll play it for you if in case you selectively and conveniently forget. बहुत shukriya. Thank you so much. I'll request all of you to please come forward and join sir over here. Sir, please join the photograph as well for the group photograph. All of you over here at the front, ahead of the tables, please. And if I may request all of you, थोड़ा जोर से अगर आप लोग ताली बजाओगे, I'm sure the smiles will widen a little more and the photo will turn out to be more memorable, if I can put it that way. Thank you so much.